But I had a falling out with my old man, my dad, and he threatened to take me out to change the will, etc. And it just it's been an entire nightmare shit show, if you really know. And by the way, like, share, subscribe. It would really help me out in the algorithm. That way I can try to make 500 subscribers. Now, look, I'll be very honest with you. My family life is a total shit show. I mean, my brother, I don't want to get named, but he's in prison right now. Involved things. He aggravated. He was trying to damn near hurt a guy. What I understand, allegedly, of course, I have to say allegedly, because until he tells me to my face, I can't I can't tell him squat. I can't say anything about what he has said. Number two, my father, the surviving parent out of my grandma and grandpa on both sides of the family, my mom, they're all passed on. And I'll tell you, it's going to be an interesting couple of years coming up because, pardon me, I'm on. From what I understand, my guess is we don't have Parkinson's. Well, from what I understood of the his clinicians, he might have it and pass it down to me. Now, I don't know the truth of it. I can't 100% tell you. But the likelihood of dementia in my family is higher due to my grandma having it and the possibility of it sliding down the family gene pool. The possibility. Now, I may sound like a freaking Looney Tune in this regard. My father, my lovely dad, who shall remain nameless at the moment, he has done a number on me of sorts. If she thinks that it's still his prime time. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Okay. Hopefully, now if I get the translation wrong, please don't butcher me yet. Hi, how is everyone? Now, please like, please share, please subscribe. How is everyone? I hope you're well. Now, listen. Now we're gonna have some rules for the road. Okay. I'm actually live streaming at the moment. I'm just kind of learning how to be in this moment because I think finally me and my pops have kind of been on the out, so to speak. Thank you so much. It really helped. Because I'll tell you straightforward, me and my pop, he 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 and I crack you not. I love my dad dearly. I really, really, really do. It just at times he makes me want to pull my hair out. What's left of it? And I'll say this very bluntly. I don't wish any ill will on my father. I want him to live a nice long life. But in the same breath, it just makes me want to cry into my pillow, so to speak, to be perfectly honest. It makes me want to cry into my pillow. Because I know if I go the other direction, and you know what I mean by the other direction, it it would not be good. And I say that in a respectable sense. It would not be good. Because I've been the other direction where I've been assaulted. I've been the firebug, so to speak. And it cost me something that most people cannot get back, a very finite resource. So if you're 21 or 18 on this live stream, hear me when I say this. Hear me full-throated honesty. If you're thinking about doing some stupid stuff, don't. Because trust me, it'll cost you the one finite resource. The one finite resource that costs you everything, and you cannot get it back no matter how hard you try. Time. It's a finite resource and it just goes. Your body tries to reclaim it, but it just goes. And I lost time with my family. And that's something no amount of money can get back. And I hope and I pray that my story, as it evolves, that you guys can take from this my mistakes and use them as a cudgel or a way to fix your own life. And I say this now as somebody who has some inexperienced live streaming, and that's fair. You know, I'm not going to deny you guys that. But in the same breath, I hope and I pray that you guys understand and respect your mother and father. Give respect mostly to your mom. She's the one that helped bring you into this world. Thank you so much. And believe it or not, I may not understand the LGBTQ plus community, but I will say this to you. To each their own. I mean, I really, if you decide to have that kind of lifestyle, to each their own. And that's just my honest opinion. And people can say, oh, that's ungodly, that's disrespectful. Now, let's really think about this for a brief moment. How disrespectful is that when you sit there and call the same names? No, I don't think kids should have surgery. I think they should wait till 25. That's when their skulls get fully formed. Yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no, kids are mixed up at one point. At one point, they do get mixed up. They do. They honestly get mixed up. But when you're making a catastrophic decision, no, I refuse not to. I refuse. Okay? You can sit there and try to force me to say it, but I'm not going to say it. No. And I'm going to put it on screen here so that everybody can see who you are. Because number one, no. I refuse to say something that is derogatory towards somebody else. No. The N-word. No. If I was a racist piece of garbage, I'd know how to hide it better. Okay? And I'll say this as well, my gut. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead. And there's a lot of things that I'll say that are messed up, and I will try my best to walk them back. No, I didn't say that. What I said was, have you ever showered with somebody? Have you ever showered and not showered for 3 weeks? Even white boys are stinky as fuck. Even white boys are stinky as fuck. And that should tell you something, okay? I'm not saying Mexicans stink. As a matter of fact, I have met Mexicans that have ran circles around me. They have ran circles around me in intellect. Well, it was you tell this bozo, Mer I don't know his name, but he said that I mentioned smell. No, I never did. See, I'm an a-hole, yes. I'll gladly admit that. But that's it. White boys stink. Hey, I have a brother that you could be across the room and smell his feet. That's how bad his feet smell. And he's as white as a goat. No, I didn't. When? 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 Please, tell me. Do you wanna elaborate? Because I don't. When? When did I say Mexicans stink? Please tell me. I said white boys stink as well. Have you ever showered? Have you ever showered? Have you ever showered? What I mean by showered? Wow. No, I didn't. I just don't understand. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Asians have taught me a lot about hygiene, as a matter of fact. It was them that said you gotta shower every freaking day. Remember? It was the Asians that said that. If you want to go back in history, because guys like me, we would normally shower once a week if we were lucky. It was an Asian, and I say an Asian, and I'll say this as well. I've eaten some dishes from the Asian culture that had made me see some time. Now, I'll say this as well. Mexicans invented hot and spicy. But no, Mexicans love hot and spicy, but it's Asians that invented hot and spicy or something of that regard. I I like Asians quite a bit because they got a brain that can play the long game. And what do I mean by long game? They know how to be strategic and wait years. They can make a a person who plays chess like a Russian player. Oh God, they can make them. They can make them look like amateurs. The Asians can, and that's the honest truth. They can make them look like amateurs. And I shit you not. I may be an a-hole from way back. I'm an a-hole, and that's plain and simple. But I don't say certain disrespectful things. Let's get something straight. I may be an a-hole, and you can tell me how you feel about me, and that's fine. But understand, I will not degrade somebody just based on their ethnicity. Let's get that straight right now. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Because I'm kind of confused in a matter of speaking. Magnus wind only. What the heck does that mean? Because it seems like I'm just reaching at straws here. Look, I'll be very blunt. If I said it I apologize. Okay, if I said it, I don't remember it because my brain has a funny thing, but that's a whole nother rant for another day. To be perfectly honest with you, I like talking to people because honestly, they can teach me a thing or two. They can tell me how to change my life. Because I've met Mexicans that literally have solved the problem of mine. And I don't call them Mexicans. I call them Latinos or Latinas, depending upon which sect they are. And I'm trying, and they probably look at us white boys and like, yeah, if you think we do, they're like, no, it's you. You smell like raw cabbage and God knows what else. If you know what I mean. And here's the funniest part of the entire thing. Everybody has issues in life. Everybody misspeaks. Everybody says nonsense. At times, it goes too far one way, too far another way. Now, I've talked to people all over this planet, and I really have. And they have shown me that there's a wider world out there than just my little patch of it. And and I use the Reagan speech quite a bit to make a point. He was trying to warn people inadvertently, because I think he was kind of hinting towards 2026, that current contact with otherworldly beings, let's just say otherworldly, that it's coming quick, in my humble opinion. It's coming quickly. What I don't know, for example, is the date and the time, but it's floating around 2027. Something strange is fixing to come. And I say something strange that we might see, very bigly cast a crew, etc. And yeah, by the way, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment or two if you think I'm doing okay. Because look, I realize I don't get everything right. And if I don't get something right, I will issue a retraction. That's something I've learned over my tenure on these platforms, is learn how to issue a retraction. Now, I screw up sometimes, and that's fine. I'm willing to admit it. I'm willing to own it, and I'm willing to move on. Because I believe in honesty and the truth, regardless of where it might lead. Now, you might think, oh, he's just talking out of his rear end. Really? Are you really thinking that? Or are you coming from some deep biases? I'm not saying you in the audience, I'm just saying in a general sense. Is a person coming from a deep biases that they think it's okay that I do wrong because I say one word one way, one word another way? But what I try to say is this: I try to stay in my lane, mind my P's and Q's, because I'll tell you straight up, it's not fun. It's not fun or fair that some people come to my channel to say, "Oh, you say this ethnic stinks," or this or that ethnic the or etc. And I'll say this now. Now, there's some people who will probably laugh at me and say, "Well, you're just a mixed up kid." Well, hey, that's actually a bit of a compliment. Because most people will look at me and laugh, and you know what? That's fine. That's fine. But you know what? I'm willing to accept the arrows, the sling, etc. But I'll say this as well. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something, and I hope you can come back again. Thanks.